every single person has a personal brand. Every single person, whether you have posted ever online or not, all those number one spots are still open.
You literally just got to make it.
Personal branding is the most important thing that's happening right now.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Ember podcast. And today we have Thilan and I. We've been friends for like ages. We went to school together, played basketball together. We went for tuition classes. We've been through a lot, and I've seen him grow as a creative. I've seen him grow as an entrepreneur now. And why don't you just tell us, who is Thilan?
Okay, firstly, what's up, JD? Thank you for having me. Yeah, so I am Thilan Nana, as I'm known online. So I'll give you a backstory of like how everything came to be for like my career. I actually started off with YouTube. I was like 11, I think. Go and subscribe to Speed Racer 940. I mean, I started off with that. And then I think from there, I started to learn like a lot of video editing because I wanted to do everything myself. And I started watching like these YouTube channels like Film Riot.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I started like learning how to, like I had a green screen in my room, those kind of things.
Don't lie, 11-year-old Thilan had a green screen in his room.
I think like 13, 14.
Okay.
Like a green screen as in like my sister got it for my birthday. It was like a CVC pipe and like she had gotten this thing and then I like hung it up in my room.
Start somewhere, right?
Yeah,
you gotta start
literally.
somewhere.
So I started off there and then that led me to editing as like a career. From there, I started looking into marketing. And then I was more interested in marketing. This is again like when I'm super young. So it's not even from a career perspective. It's just
passion and like what you wanted to do, what you liked.
And then from there, I kind of grew to I actually ended up starting an agency for social media marketing. There was a little bit of influence from the outside, like things that you see online to actually start a social media marketing agency. I think this was also like peak, like Iman Gaji, like those kind of people. It was really pushing it. And because it was in the same realm of like what I was doing, it felt like, okay, this is what I want to do. There's also other side of this. I was mentioning the career part of it, but there's also another part which is like going like tangentially with this. That's not the right word, but like
that's fine.
Alongside it. Basically, 2020, 2019, and I think TikTok era, I started posting a lot on TikTok.
I think that's when a lot of people started to know Thilan Nana like as like the handle, right?
Yeah. Definitely at this point, I was very much into social media. I watched a lot of Gary Vee and all that. I think Gary Vee was talking about TikTok like from the time he was in Musical.ly.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. He is, I think like 2018. Right. He was like, oh, Musical.ly is going to be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then when it became TikTok, I started picking up a little bit before like even the dancing girls were popular on it. He was like, you should get on this. And then I started seeing it like pop up.
Yeah.
Anyway, I started posting content there. That kind of took off in a sense, like after COVID was done. I remember anywhere I would go out, like any day, if I just went out, like maybe on a night out or whatever, at least bare minimum 5 people come up and be like, oh my God, I love your videos, blah, blah, blah.
I've been there when that's happened. Yeah. I didn't know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I think that kind of showed me a little bit about like the influence they're having. Like in reality, when you see, it's one thing to like see numbers on a screen, but then you like,
of course, when people come and ask you. I mean, people used to come and talk to me and be like, hey, you're Thilan's friend, right? Like, what? It's because he has a TikTok, but like it represented that people knew you. They followed your conversation, your stories.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing now? Like with all of that being said,
just to like where everything kind of like converged for me was when both these parts, I realized actually like, because a lot of the times I was super busy with work, like when you're running an agency, everything, there's so much work that goes into it. And I was famously, even with like the people that followed me online, I was famously inconsistent online because at the end of the day, when you're like doing a business, there's times where there's a little bit more freedom. Yeah. And then there's like a couple months where you're just like
100%
in the trenches, So every time that would happen, I would just disappear off the face of the internet. And that was then finally, I think I realized at a certain point, and I guess we can get more into this later, that personal branding is the most important thing that's happening right now. And it is happening on social media. That is 99% of personal branding is on social media. And I realized this is what I'm doing. And then I also started realizing how much business I'm getting for my marketing agency
through your personal brand.
From my personal brand. And that's when I once everything clicked, I was like, wait, what I really like doing is telling stories. Like, I love telling my story. I learned that. And after that, I'm like, I think I can help people actually do that. Plus, along with the, videography knowledge that I have, I think that is what led me to understand, okay, this is finally when what you're good at and what you love doing, finally
collides.
Gets together. Exactly. And then, then I started personalbranding.lk. That's when I started with this. And now the whole thing is we're helping founders build their personal brands using social media to actually create profitable personal brands.
Okay. Profitable
personal brands.
Okay.
And so it's mainly like we use Instagram and YouTube. Those are the two sort of social media that we use to build this. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So launch should be launched by the time this podcast goes up.
Personal branding seems to be the topic of conversation, everything that you've been maybe looking at for the past couple of months. I love your story of how you've found what you like with what you're good at. And I think even Ember for me was that. So it's crazy that, you've had that moment. Why would you tell someone in 2026 to start a personal brand?
Every single person has a personal brand. Every single person, whether you have posted ever online or not, you have a personal brand. Your personal brand, at least for me, is a combination of your reputation as well as how well known you are. For example, if Dhammika Pereira never posted online, Dhammika Pereira has a personal brand.
Okay.
Because there is weight to that name. I mean, even if there wasn't, but he has a very strong personal brand, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Even if he never posted online, because everyone knows, if you say the name Dhammika Pereira, behind that person, there is some understanding of, okay, if he was, I'm investing in something, the entire market moves.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is a strong personal brand at the end of the day. Not all of us can become the richest man in the country. So for all of us, the biggest lever or the easiest thing to do to push your personal brand is social media. So that's why I say social media is 99% of your personal brand.
Okay.
And then alongside that is your reputation. So that's how much people trust you, that kind of thing. Yeah. So when it comes to why people should, so let's say you're looking for a job, whatever it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, okay, they look at your skill set and everything. But there is something to, at the end of the day, what kind of person are you and how much they know about you?
Yeah, there's so much a CV can do or tell. And even that sometimes, even I've seen, the best CVs, but when you jump on a call with them, they don't know how to carry themselves. They don't know how to speak. And those are the things that you think, just looking at first impression of a CV, that they might be able to do.
Yeah.
And I personally experienced it. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
For sure. There's definitely that part. And the other side of it is it's also what is known as word of mouth. So let's say if we don't even apply for a job, sometimes someone's looking, let's say, I think we've had this where it's let's say you're looking for an editor.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
So that is also his personal brand. That's affecting, it's your reputation, right? Someone knows who you are. It's word of mouth. And then building your personal brand on social media is just doing that on steroids.
Okay.
You're multiplying that by 1,000 times to 1 million, literally millions of times. Yeah. So I think the main thing is that people think that personal branding is for founders.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at the way it can change someone's life in terms of everything in their occupation, I think every single person should be looking to build a personal brand. And now is the peak time.
Yeah, I've heard even so many people, even I don't know, Gary Vee, lots of people just talking about 2025, well, kind of gone now, but 2026 also being such a breakthrough year for personal brands.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with what you said about it not being for just founders, and that's just a misconception people have. Yes, maybe they do it a lot more because they can carry their brand, they have something to tie it back into. But I believe, and I've seen so many people, even in Sri Lanka, that aren't founders sort of having good, strong personal brands. I think before you even started your company and became the founder of your company, you had a very strong personal brand. So during that journey, I don't know if you want to talk about maybe then or now, but like, who do you think are good personal brands, or like who set the foundation for like good personal brands in Sri Lanka?
For me, the most impressive thing, and this is unfortunate, I can't remember her name.
Seriously.
No, but she goes by Teacher Amma.
Teacher Amma.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
I mean, I want to check it out now.
Yeah. So she's she's a teacher.
Yeah.
You've never heard of her?
No, I actually haven't.
Okay. So this is incredible. She's a teacher, and she teaches like Shishate, like, the grade 5.
Okay.
exam.
Yeah.
And she does this for like, I think she does it like online. Right?
Okay.
And she started like posting content and everything. And I'm sure there was like a, structure and a strategy behind it. You need to see, she held her own, what was it, like a graduation for her kids.
Okay.
And bro, they held it at BMICH.
Okay.
Bro, the place was packed. Like, it was like flooded with kids.
Wow.
And it was, bro, people are like, she pulls up in a Range Rover. There's
Teacher Amma pulls up in a Range Rover.
Teacher Amma pulls up in a Range Rover. There's like 2 other, like, I think there's like Mercs like on this side. They've hired like a helicopter to go and like put like flower petals down. This is the how grand it is. What's incredible to me about that is that really can't happen for another teacher in Sri Lanka for that like audience ever again.
Okay.
Because the thing is, when you're number one, when you're the first, it's like when Charlie D'Amelio was dancing on TikTok first, there were a lot of people dancing. There's a lot of people that are probably better dancers that came along. But she was first. And there was no one else there. It was like free real estate. The number 2 is, it's just not the same. There's a huge difference between the number 1 and number 2. And that's why I say, like, how you said 2025. 2025 was like the big year for personal branding, I guess, in like the States and stuff. But the thing is, in Sri Lanka, everyone's still behind. We don't have a face of, any other like job. Like now we have it for teaching.
A few things. Yeah.
Like, but all those number 1 spots are still open.
So you literally just got to make it.
You just have to be the first. And like now is such a peak time, because over 2026, all those spots are going to get filled up. Whatever it is, whether you're a business analyst, whether you're in computer science, whatever it is, building that brand is going to be literally 1,000,000 times easier now than it's going to be in 1 year. Because in 1 year, you're competing.
Yeah.
Right now, you're not competing.
Like you're not that number 1.
You're running a race. You have to come first, and no one is running.
So you're gonna be.
That's literally where it's at, bro. No one is running. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, I genuinely think now is such a perfect time, and everyone should.
Okay, personal brand. Like, wow. Okay, I did not expect you to say Teacher Amma. That was, I think, where I was talking about. I was thinking there were so many other names that came to my head, but I'm so thankful that you brought that into it, just because that's something that no one would think of, but the value that person has on her students is like profound, right? And like in their circles, I'm sure they're talking about her, they trust her, she has that reputation. For the world of business and like the world that you're stepping into this year with the agency, how and like who do you feel like would be like your competitors, or do you think you are that number 1 in the personal branding space at the moment? I think that
spot is still up for grabs.
Yeah.
As of right now, there have been people that like for example like Pisukanna.
Yeah.
But he does personal branding, but it's not in like for Sri Lankan like audiences. He's a Sri Lankan that is on it. So there's people like that, and I think there might be some agencies that like our social media marketing agencies that also kind of do it.
Like
offer something on that. Yeah, but I don't think there's anyone that's literally like, okay, we are focusing on this and we understand this and we learn this, and this is like, I think that's completely different, because a lot of this comes down to telling someone's story, and that is a skill that not everyone that just has a camera can. Yeah. So if someone wanted to learn about, okay, if they watch this, if you guys are watching, if you make a decision right now, okay, like 2026, I'm going to focus on my personal brand. Okay, where would they start? Okay, the number 1 thing I would give you as advice is like, people keep I'm sure, okay, I'm sure 90% of the people watching this have gone, yeah, I should start making content. Yeah, I'll start.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, but I'll start when
Yeah.
XYZ, right? That is the number one thing.
Don't start when XYZ.
No. The number one issue that I think people are having is, look, I can give advice which is like more advanced and everything, but 99% of people that are watching this, the thing that's really holding them back, and I think people don't realize it because they start thinking, oh, it's because of this, it's because that. No, the issue here is that because you haven't started,
Okay.
right? I think like this is going to sound like very simple advice, but I think people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Is I think Homozi said that.
Of course.
The number one thing is that you have to start and you have to be consistent. Being consistent in that is a huge part, because there's any sort of like, content pillar or like structure of, okay, I want to make these kind of videos. I want to do this. I want to do vlogs. I want to do whatever it is. In every field, people have been successful.
Yeah.
The only difference is that they've done it a million times and you haven't. So I would say the number one thing is sit down with ChatGPT, right? Go, this is my like career. This is the kind of person I am. This is what my interests are. This is what like, whether I'm comfortable talking in front of camera, whatever it is, like these are the kind of things I do. I want to figure out and like get some ideas of pillars of content, whatever. Figure out what you can do consistently for the next 1,000 days.
Okay.
And just do that.
1,000 is like 3 years,
3
right?
years.
So like for 3 years, you want them to figure out how frequently would you recommend people post to? Because that's another question that I had. Like what role does frequency play in this as well?
I think as much as you physically can.
Okay.
And the thing is, people get really motivated and they like jump into things and they go, you know what, I'm going to post like 3 times a day, whatever it is. That would be great. But that's why I said specifically do it for the next 1,000 days. Because can you really see yourself, okay, yeah, I can do this. Like, this is my day to day for the foreseeable future. If you don't see that, then you're just going to have this little like,
space gap.
Yeah, you're just going to have like a couple of months maybe where you like, maybe get something. But the point of the way social media works is it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Right. So you can put all the work here, but it's really just like a little bit here. But in actuality, just keeping that consistency is where it's going to like.
And that's when it peaks up.
Exactly.
Literally peaks up. For people who have issues like that, right, where consistency has been an issue, frequency. I had someone who came up to me and was like, I'm scared to start my personal brand. Because I don't look good enough. And he's like, I want to work out for like 3 months. I'm going to get like mad fit.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start my personal brand because like I feel like comfortable on the camera. For people who have like these issues, like what would you recommend? Like what would be your advice to them?
Bro, firstly, I can relate to that guy so hard. Okay. I remember I had that exact same thought. Because I was like, oh no, you know what? This time I'm going to lose the weight.
Yeah.
And then I'll start. I think there is something to putting effort into making sure that you look your best when you are presenting yourself to the world.
Okay, look your best.
Yes.
Because for me, like I agree with that, right? Like I have seen people who just present themselves well. Like they would speak well, they would dress well, or whatever like resonated with their audience.
At the end of the day, that time is going to pass by anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And this is not just for like looking good. Whatever you feel like, oh, okay, one day when I save enough money for a good camera, or when I, like there's all sorts of excuses that like, okay, we'll just do this once things are perfect. That time is going to pass anyway. And when you're at that point, I'm not saying that a nice camera doesn't help or looking good doesn't help. But bro, look at Dinel, bro. Like Dinel Valpula.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, he just went one day, let me just cuss at my camera without a shirt into my Android phone, nothing. Like, he just did it. That's it. And then I think his first viral video was not even like his face. It was just like him looking at someone like who parked terribly. But he was just posting all the time. And then finally, like enough, he was obviously very talented. He's very funny. And then at some point they were like, this stuff started blowing up.
Yeah.
But if he just went, oh, let me write like the perfect script and like get a nice camera and all that stuff and like, get actors and like do all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
It would have passed.
it would have passed. That day is never going to come, because one thing is, you also can't be so arrogant to think that okay, one day I'll know exactly this, this, and this. Or not even one day. I already know that this is what it's going to take.
Yeah.
You can't be that arrogant. No one does. Honestly, no one does. If they did, like, it's not like even the biggest companies in the world would be posting as much as they were. They'd just be like, oh, let me just like really iron out like one piece of content. No, you have to just pump these things out, right? Pump these pieces of content out. And then at some point you're going to go, okay, this works, this works, this works, right?
Yeah.
And once that time passes, at the end of the day, once you do get your nice camera, once you do have a six-pack, do you want to be starting like from ground zero, or do you want to start like, do you want to hit the ground running?
Yeah. So just to wrap off.
Sorry.
Wrap off.
You want to wrap off?
You want to wrap off right now? All right. Just to wrap up, rather. I would love to just hear about the people who shaped your personal branding journey, because you seem to have pulled it off really well and still are. So I just want to know, in those founding moments of all of that, who were the people who inspired? Like, they could be in Sri Lanka, they could be abroad. I know you mentioned Gary Vee, but like, are there others, just like name basis, that maybe the viewers could go back, maybe watch the same videos that you did? Who are those people?
I think when it comes to that, someone that I think is doing phenomenally is Shelby Sapp.
Okay.
Have you seen Shelby Sapp?
Probably
She's
not.
do you know Alex Eubank?
Yeah.
Okay, so his girlfriend.
Okay.
She does sales. She's one of the biggest personal brands now. There's so many subtleties to the way she does her content, and also incredible volume. But she just films in her car, and she's built a crazy agent. She's like multi-millionaire now. But I think she does something like, there's so many things that she also teaches when it comes to building a brand. That can be applied. The other thing is, you have to like follow Gary Vee. That's like, he's like, I don't know, founding father almost, like when it comes to social media. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my head. Of course, there's like so many. Homozy is incredible. If you're a business owner, or if you're trying to do anything, Homozy is like, he will explain everything.
And it's
to
cool,
you.
like so Alex and his wife Layla, right?
Yeah.
They both build it side by side, and it's so cool. Like, I'm pretty sure like they get a little bit of help from each other, right? So it's all right to ask for help while building your personal brand. I think what your agency is doing is sort of like an extension of that, right? You're really giving some help to like people.
100%. I don't know if I'd call myself like their Layla, but
but essentially you are helping them, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
What would you be doing for them that they couldn't do by themselves?
So I think one thing is, without a doubt, let me just compare how it would be if you were to do it by yourself, or if you were to come to us. I don't want this to deter anyone. If you 100% can and should do this, like, by yourself. Like, if you know what I mean? Like, everyone should, regardless. But the other thing is that when it comes to founders, the biggest thing I've always heard is that there's no time. There's no time. And also, when you're a founder and you're building your company, they understand how much their personal brand, like, or their business relies on their brand, right? That is a huge part of the marketing there. So you don't want to just be winging it as like, or something that you just kind of do on the side. It needs to be done by people that understand, okay, what it is to create content, what it is to, film things that look professional, those kind of things. And this is where, how you say the high quality of content doesn't matter, but there is something to when you're a founder and you make content that looks professional, that signals to people that, you are, someone that can be trusted. There's like, something to that.
It's the trust that gets added on, like the credibility, all of that. It's first impression, right?
For sure. And at the end of the day, it's also like for conversion and like making content that actually helps convert and getting you those sales. That is something that we specialize in. Okay. So being able to do that at a much higher level than you probably would be able to is what you're getting from us. And also at the end of the day, the way we do it is you have once a month, we just need 2 hours of your time. We'll come, we'll film whatever it is.
Okay.
And then you can close your eyes and everything will get done.
So you spoke about like your passion, you spoke about the people who influenced you, the lessons you learned along the way. If I were to ask you, like, why are you doing this? Why did you choose this out of all the things that you possibly could have done? I understand it's important, but why is that important to you personally?
There is a huge perspective shift I had watching Gary Vee.
Okay.
And perspective, this is not really for business, but it's just for your life. In terms of understanding how rare it is to be alive, understanding how maybe having a perspective on the problems that you're having will reshape how you go about your life, and honestly, the kind of life that you live. To live without fear, not saying that I don't, but like...
Yeah. No, but he touches on all of those things.
And genuinely completely changed my life in terms of that. Of course, there's so many other, people and whatnot, but that's the main person that I think of, where it's like, okay, you have one life here and really cherish it, because regardless of whether you're, in a yacht, or whether you're just in your bedroom, like whatever it is, or, you're here at the podcast studio, like really going, holy shit, we're fucking alive. Like that's incredible. And like romanticizing your life to just
so
understand
true.
like this is like, I don't know what people's fates are, whatever, like if God's plan on your health, like regardless of how it is, it's a gift from God, like literally.
It really is. It's so weird for me to see you talk about stuff like that, because I've seen you grow, like obviously I've seen you grow, but I'm still looking at like, the 11-year-old Thilan who was making those videos.
For sure. And I'm sorry if I didn't, I don't want to cut you off. But I don't know if I mentioned this. But the point of what, sorry, this I didn't mention.
That's fine.
I'll just go into this. The way that I felt with that, I feel like there's a huge change in my life.
I think that's what I was just about to say as well.
And the reason, the real like in the reason for me is like, I want to make other people feel that too.
Okay.
I want other people to go like, you know what, my life is actually great. And or whatever it is, to kind of give them some sort of understanding on the perspective of life, and just have a positive impact. Like honestly, I know that sounds like no, yes, but but genuinely, like that's the biggest thing when I make content. Like the reason why I went with a vlog as opposed to sitting in front of a camera and talking is because of course I can sit and talk about like personal branding and all those things, but I figured like when I do that, it allows me to show how I'm living life while loving it, and hopefully that'll inspire some other people to also do the same.
Thanks so much for talking about that, just because that's exactly what I was going to say. Like that 11-year-old Thilan, the one that I knew, who was just figuring out life, just making like random videos. I think that was like a Harlem Shake video. Do you remember that? I was not there that day.
Yeah, we did do
but a few of them were there.
Independence Square got kicked out.
Yeah, they were in Independence Square and got kicked out. But 11-year-old Thilan would be so proud of where you are, what you're doing, and that you managed to actually find something that you like and something that you're good at. And I think everyone has seen your videos. Everyone has seen like the work that you do, this level of skill and competence, and the care you have for your clients. That's something that I personally have noticed as well. So if you're a founder, if you're someone who this is not even just a founder, just someone looking to grow your personal brand this year, like Thilan is the guy for you. Like he's probably run that for a few other people now. So you can ask for case studies. You can just have a coffee with him. He'll blow your mind. So that being said, thanks so much for being here and talking about this, especially at this time of the year. I think it's a start everyone's looking for. And I know last year I was looking for. I'm sure there's so many people out there looking for it as well. So yeah, thanks so much for being here, and looking forward to having you at maybe the end of the year to see where things have gone.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, this has been really fun, and I'm genuinely really glad that you gave me the platform. I appreciate that a lot. And what you said was so interesting. It'll be so cool to see 1 year from now.
Yeah.
Because one thing for me is, I think when I build this, it's going to be one big thing for me is people are going to see that, okay, I actually did this intentionally.
Yes.
I'm not someone that randomly, started posting things and now got a bunch of followers and went, oh, you know what? Let me just say I know things. I want this to be like, okay, people can see he knew what he was doing. He did this intentionally. So he knows what he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see in 1 year. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
All right, so well then I'll catch you next year.
Amazing. All right. No, we need to catch up
we will
before
see each
that.
other, but yeah, they will catch you
Yeah,
next
yeah.
year.
We'll see you next year.
All right, have a good
Thank
one,
you, bro.
guys. Cheers. All right.
Yes, bro. That was so good.
Okay, let's go.